We're deep into explosive chaos as Representative Jasmine Crockett doesn't just take a dig at Donald Trump, she turns the tables on him. From a black woman who was mocked for having a low IQ. This isn't just a simple hearing, it's a double whammy attack on his shady financial dealings and personal weaknesses, like Melania's disappearance and his hypocritical visa policies. From Capitol Hill to Mar-a-Lago, this story has receipts, criticism, and plenty of wow moments. Let's find out why Trump is afraid of this black woman. I'm talking about Representative Jasmine Crockett, who didn't just step up to the plate on the House floor, she swung for the fences and hit a grand slam right in Donald Trump's face. This isn't just about a speech or a viral clip. It's about calling out hypocrisy, exposing raw vulnerabilities, and watching a former president lose his entire mind on Truth Social, like he's auditioning for a reality TV meltdown. So grab a seat because we're about to unpack a story full of visas, vanishing first ladies, and vicious clapbacks that'll keep you glued to every word. Picture this, we're in the middle of a congressional hearing supposedly about restoring integrity and security to the visa process. Sounds legit on paper, right? But hold up, Jasmine Crockett ain't buying it, and she's not here to play nice. She steps up with a fire in her eyes and a tone that cuts sharper than a switchblade. Look, y'all keep accusing us of wanting criminals running wild in the streets or saying we don't think folks should show up to their appointments. She starts already sounding fed up with the nonsense. But last I checked, there's a whole lot of people getting snatched up while they're literally walking into their meetings, doing exactly what they're supposed to do. She's not just making a point. She's painting a picture of real fear, real injustice. You can almost see it, someone heading to an immigration appointment nervous, but hopeful only to get grabbed like they're in some dystopian flick. And she's got the stories to back it up. She brings up a mayoral candidate. Yeah, a guy running for office who got arrested just for escorting folks to their appointments. Think about that for a second. A man trying to lead his community gets locked up for helping people follow the rules. It's absurd, and Crockett knows it. Then she drops an even bigger name, the Pope. Yes, the freaking Pope. She tells us how even His Holiness has said the church might need to start providing escorts for people heading to these meetings because the gap between what officials claim they want, order compliance, and what they're actually doing, intimidation, chaos, is so wide you could drive a truck through it. If the Pope is stepping in, maybe it's time to ask who the real threat to safety is. Crockett's voice carries that weight, that urgency, as she lays bare the disconnect. What they say they want to do and what they're actually doing, it don't match up, not even close. Now, this hearing is supposed to be about visas, but somehow it keeps getting derailed. Instead of real policy talk, it's all cherry-picked horror stories about criminal immigrants. One crime here, another there, as if that's the whole picture. Crockett ain't having it. It's real interesting to me how quick y'all are to call folks xenophobic. She says, her tone dripping with, I see you energy. But when you start deciding that just because someone came from another country, they're automatically a criminal, yeah, that sounds pretty xenophobic to me. She's calling it like it is, no sugarcoating. She points out how this broad brush paints an entire group of people as dangerous when the vast majority are just here chasing a better life. Families fleeing violence, parents wanting more for their kids, dreamers looking for a shot, that's who's getting smeared. And Crockett's not just defending them, she's exposing the fear-mongering for what it is, a cheap distraction. But let's get to the meat of this hearing, because Crockett's about to turn the heat up to 11. The whole idea that Trump and his Republican buddies want to restore integrity and security to the visa process, she calls it a straight-up joke. Let me be crystal clear. She snaps her voice like a whip. Integrity ain't snatching lawful visa holders off the streets and throwing them into unmarked vans. Integrity ain't revoking visas because some teenager's social media post hurt somebody's little feelings. You can almost hear the room go quiet as she lands that blow. She's talking about real cases, people who followed every rule only to get their lives upended over a petty grudge or a tweet that rubbed Trump the wrong way. We got a thing called free speech in this country. She reminds everyone, her tone saying, don't even try me. It's a gut punch to the administration's narrative, and she's just getting started. Then she flips the script and goes straight for the hypocrisy at the top. Since we're talking integrity, she says, her eyes probably glaring across the room. I'm real confused why my Republican colleagues ain't saying a peep about the lack of integrity when it comes to the president's own family visas. Oh, snap, she's going there. She brings up Melania Trump, the former First Lady, and lays it out plain. Melania, a model, and when I say model, I ain't talking Tyra Banks, Cindy Crawford, or Naomi Campbell level, applied for and got an EB-1 visa, also known as the Einstein visa. Now, for those who don't know, Crockett breaks it down like she's teaching a class. Y'all want to know how you get an Einstein visa? You're supposed to have some major achievement, think Nobel Peace Prize, Pulitzer, Olympic medal, or sustained extraordinary success in science, arts, education, business, or athletics. She pauses, letting that sink in before dropping the mic. Last time I checked, the First Lady didn't have none of those accolades under her belt. It don't take an Einstein to see the math ain't mathin' here. That line, witty, sharp, and brutal, probably had people in the room stifling laughs or gasping out loud. She's not just questioning Melania. She's exposing a double standard so glaring it's almost funny. If Trump's so obsessed with visa integrity, why's his own wife getting a free pass? But Crockett ain't playing for laughs. She ties this personal dig back to the bigger picture, and it's deadly serious. She warns that what Republicans are doing with their reconciliation process, travel bans, and visa revocations isn't just unfair, it's dangerous. This jeopardizes our national security, she says, her voice firm. It threatens our communities, our higher education, and our economy. She's talking about real stakes visas like the J visa for students and exchange visitors, or the M visa for trade training. Bring in the next wave of innovators, doctors, researchers, and educators. These are the folks building American success, not tearing it down. She even nods to a colleague who shares a personal story. His wife's a high earner, and they can manage their family of 5 thanks to an au pair on a J visa. It's not abstract. It's real lives, real impact. J visa holders alone pump $43.8 billion into the U.S. economy and support over 300,000 jobs. Yet Trump's reckless travel bans and visa overhauls are slamming that door shut even as we're starving for doctors. Crockett lays it out cold. Fewer doctors mean less care and more people die. Let that sink in. She keeps hammering on the human cost. Take U visas given to victims of brutal crimes like rape, murder, or human trafficking who help law enforcement. These folks are risking their necks for our safety, and yet Republicans claim visas make us less secure. It's laughable, and Crockett's tone screams y'all can't be serious. She also points out how immigrants make up nearly 30% of long-term care providers' caretakers, keeping our elderly and disabled alive, especially in red states. Meanwhile, Republicans want to gut Medicaid, which supports 4.5 million people relying on these services. It's like they want Americans to suffer, she says, and you can feel the raw frustration. She's not just debating policy, she's fighting for people's very survival. Now here's where things go from fiery to full-on explosive. Crockett doesn't just stick to visas or policy, she gets personal, and it's a calculated strike. She leans into a question that's been buzzing for months, one millions have noticed, but few have dared say out loud on such a stage. Where is Melania? And not in some gossipy tabloid way. Crockett uses Melania's disappearing act from the public eye to shred Trump's family values rhetoric. If you're out here pushing mass deportations while preaching about keeping families together, shouldn't your own wife be standing by you? It's not a low blow. It's a masterstroke. She's not attacking Melania. She's pointing out a pattern. The skipped events, the icy body language that screams, "Get me out of here," the eerie silence after every scandal. It's all there plain as day, and Crockett just turned it into a political sledgehammer aimed right at Trump's image. And oh, did it land! Trump couldn't take it. Within minutes of Crockett's speech blowing up online, he's on Truth Social fingers flying rage posting like a man possessed. His response ain't a comeback, it's a meltdown. He calls Crockett delusional, jealous, and racist, classic Trump slinging insults when he's got no facts to stand on. But here's the thing, it didn't stick. Nobody's buying it. Instead, folks are diving deeper into Melania's absences, pulling up old clips of her dodging handholds, skipping charity galas, and vanishing from the spotlight after every mess. The internet ain't just laughing, it's dissecting. And that's what really stings Trump. Crockett didn't just crack a joke. She exposed a personal fracture in his oh-so-perfect facade. For a guy who lives on projecting strength and control, this ain't just a jab, it's a body blow to his whole narrative. But Trump being Trump doesn't stop at petty name-calling. Nah, he takes it to a whole new level of unhinged. In a post that reads like he's lost his last marble, he sarcastically nominates Crockett as the Democratic presidential candidate for 2024. Yeah, you heard me right. I have an idea for the Democrats, he rants. They should nominate low-IQ candidate Jasmine Crockett for president. Then he throws in AOC as VP, some misspelled name for a communist mayor of NYC, and just keeps cooking up this bizarre fantasy ticket of people he despises. It's not a roast. It's a breakdown. This ain't strategy. It's pure desperation. He's so rattled by Crockett's words that he's inventing alternate realities where she's running the country, thinking that'll somehow cut her down. Spoiler alert, Dawn, it don't. It just makes you look scared out of your mind. And the internet, they're eating it up. Memes are flooding timelines. Folks are joking that Trump accidentally wrote a dystopian future where he gets the opposition he deserves and still loses. Here's the best part: Crockett doesn't even need to clap back. Her original point already hit like a freight train. Trump's tantrum just proves how deep she got under his skin. Every time he freaks out, every time he throws together these chaotic 3 a.m. rants, he's not hurting her, he's boosting her. Attention is power, and Trump just handed Crockett a megaphone. She's not just a congresswoman now, she's a national conversation. And that question, where's Melania, ain't going away. It's not gossip, it's a documented pattern. Missed events, retreated spotlight, whispered tensions. Crockett didn't make this up. She just said what everyone's thinking. And Trump's over-the-top reaction only made it echo louder. But let's zoom out, because this ain't just about one viral moment or one truth social spiral. It's about a pattern. Trump's skin is thinner than a sheet of tissue paper these days. Every critique is a conspiracy. Every jab is a personal attack. Every mention of Melania is a national crisis in his head. He can't stop himself from reacting, and each time he looks weaker. Crockett ain't the first to spot the cracks in the Trump brand. Comedians, analysts, late-night hosts have all taken shots, but when a sitting member of Congress calls it out in real time, that ain't comedy. That's credibility. And that's why Trump can't let it slide. He's not just fighting Crockett. He's fighting the slow unraveling of his own image. Political cracks are one thing, but personal ones, that's where the mask slips. That's where the rage explodes. And that's exactly what we're seeing. Now, let's bring in the other heavyweight in this fight, Representative Jamie Raskin. While Crockett's bringing the fire and wit, Raskin's coming with legal precision and a moral backbone that don't bend. He's also on the House floor, tearing into Trump's deportation and visa policies like a lawyer cross-examining a lying witness. He calls out the administration for torturing our laws and trampling our Constitution to kick out green card holders and students. He slams the travel bans 19 countries targeted for no good reason. No exceptions, which he says don't make us safer or freer. They make us look like a petty isolationist mess to the world. He's got hard numbers too. In 2022, 298,000 people from banned countries came here as tourists or students, spending cash and boosting our economy. The next year, households from those countries earned $3.2 billion, paid $715 million in taxes, and had $2.5 billion in spending power. Yet Trump's policies are locking them out. For what Raskin's point is brutal, this ain't security, it's spite. Raskin also drags the double standards in Trump's refugee program into the light. While thoroughly vetted refugees get paused because they're supposedly detrimental to the U.S., white Afrikaners got fast-tracked via a freaking Google form. And shocker, some of them had anti-Semitic posts dug up later, despite strict screenings for everyone else. How does any of this restore integrity or security? Raskin asks, his voice probably ringing with exasperation. He's not just criticizing, he's dismantling the whole narrative. These random pauses, bans, and detentions ain't policy. They're punishment weaponized against Trump's enemies. It's chaos, not governance. But Raskin, like Crockett, ain't just about takedowns. He's got vision. He recalls a rare lucid moment from Trump's first term when he talked about a big, beautiful wall with a big, beautiful door, a nod to legal immigration. Raskin holds on to that flicker of hope, pushing for bipartisanship. He wants a secure border removal of serious criminals, a path to citizenship for law-abiding, undocumented workers who Trump himself called very good long-time workers, and a modern system that welcomes newcomers while protecting American jobs. He quotes Thomas Paine, who saw America as an asylum to humanity, a refuge, not a fortress. It's a powerful call rooted in history and heart, and a stark contrast to the fear-driven mess we've got now. So here we are with two lawmakers, Crockett and Raskin, standing tall, speaking truth to power, and making Trump lose his ever-loving mind. Crockett's sharp wit and fearless vibe, paired with Raskin's legal chops and moral clarity, are a 1-2 punch that's impossible to dodge. And Trump, he's not just rattled, he's coming apart at the seams. His sarcastic nomination of Crockett for president ain't an insult. It's a backdoor boost. If he thinks naming her in a fake administration cuts her down, he's clueless. It's free press. It's proof she's got him shook. And the more he rants, the more he proves her right. Melania's absence ain't a punchline, it's a pattern. His policies don't hold up under a microscope. His obsession with controlling the story keeps blowing up in his face. This ain't just a tale of a viral speech or a social media freakout. It's about accountability. It's about exposing hypocrisy so blatant, it'd be funny if the stakes weren't so damn high. Crockett and Raskin ain't just holding Trump accountable. They're showing us what real leadership looks like. They're asking the tough questions, where's Melania, where's the integrity, and they ain't backing down. And every time Trump flips out, every time he slings mud or dreams up fake scenarios, he's not winning. He's losing. He's handing them the spotlight. So yeah, let's dream for a minute Jasmine Crockett leading not just in Congress, but on the biggest stage. If that scares Donald Trump, good, because it means she's already got the upper hand.